Hi, this is Steve Walton from Tropic Heating and PatioHeat.com. Today we're going to look at this patio here. So we actually have two separate areas. We have this little structure and then this attachment to the house. What I see here in this image is a seating area back here, a dining space here. I'm assuming that there's probably a doorway on the right hand side, and that's why the chairs are on the left hand side over here. Also, we have this open area, so this is an area that we would consider possibly exposed with wind, something of that nature. I don't know exactly where this residence is located and how the wind, I should say really how the wind might affect this space, but that's something we're going to consider. So let's look at oh, and also this is an artistic conception here, and the customer handed me some dimensions, and I'm going with those dimensions. So here we go, and you can see that my residence here is not to scale, obviously, up here, but the porch area here I believe is, and with the dimensions that he gave me. So let's look at the dimensions real quickly here. This one is 17, and I have 14 feet, 14 and a half feet roughly deep. The height here is about 9'8" to the top, and then I know it slopes, so I'm assuming that it's going to be up a little bit higher, so I'm just calling it 10'2". On this side here, we have 17 feet wide by 12 foot. This is a prep barbecue area. Fireplace, obviously. We have some seating areas here and here, and again, oh, let me just go here. We got 10 foot by 12 foot here. So again, I'm a little bit concerned with the exposure of air or wind, rather. If it's not a windy area, then the possibilities of placing gas heaters up here would work, but we would have to change the clearances slightly, and that would be the clearance back here. Here you see I have two of the CD6024, so this is a 6,000 watt electric heater, and electric heaters aren't affected by wind whatsoever, so they function rather nicely. And they're at the same level. Actually, I have it at the same level as this beam right here. So the top of the heater is at the same level as the beam. And again, we have a 8-inch, 6-inch clearance, sorry, on the back side of the beam. You'll also notice that my brackets are hanging up high. That's only because of the fact that I don't have a place to put them, but if you just used a piece of stainless 1x1 tubular steel and just bolted it to the top of this beam and then punched a hole into it so that it lined up with this this particular bracket here, you can see the shape of it maybe over here better. Let's just look over here real quick. You can see it a little bit clearer, but you could just take this bracket here and eliminate the one that's above, and then use that bar steel. And it doesn't have to be anything great in strength, but just punched a hole into that steel to line up where you want that to be mounted, and then just stick your bolt through there. These heaters are approximately 18 pounds, so it's not a whole lot of weight that you're holding. So let's look at the array that we can cast out here with this. So with the 6,000 watt unit, we get a nice coverage crossover in the middle of the patio. And by the way, these heaters are centered. Oops, centered in the off of this beam here. But you see here we got a nice crossover, and we get plenty of coverage for the most part. Obviously, the fireplace takes up some of the space in this patio, so you don't really need to have it centered, but for appearance wise, I would place it in the center and we're still able to get most of this couch seating area. Now, I understand from the image only that this could be like a bar stool height seating, and with that you may want to consider placing a control so that you can dim this heater down, because this probably would be too warm for this specific spot on, let's say, just moderate cool days. So that control would allow you to just dim the system down to a comfort that you accept. Now, the space here, I also have the CD6024 units, but you could probably get away with a 4,000 watt unit, especially over here, and that would it would limit some of the colder days. I don't know how cold it gets in this area, but the 4,000 might eliminate some of those colder days to be ideally comfortable, but it still would work fairly well in most applications or most time periods. And I should mention over here, I believe I have these heaters at about a 15 degree tilt. This one here I placed about 10 degrees, and you could angle this 15 and get more of this area here, but then again trying to make sure that we capture this outside edge here. And as you can see here, we're not able to capture the entire space, and that's just because these heaters are infrared, so it's a light wave, and that light wave is specifically directed, kind of like a flashlight. You would point a flashlight at an object, and you'd have a specific beam of light. These are beams of light. The closer you go to the ground with the heater, the less coverage you're going to receive. As you can see, the beam goes out further, except the fact the heater is closer to the ground. This is again the CD6024 unit. I just placed this up on the ceiling, centered in the patio, and 6 inches off this back side here. This one here, I have roughly centered it in this space here. Now, if there's a door here that opens up and swings open, we want to be concerned about that. We don't want that to cook the top of the door, so I'm assuming this is a sliding type of door. But yeah, I just centered this, attached it to the ceiling, angled it at about 15 degrees out, and that'll give a good coverage for the seating space over here. This one also could be a 4,000 watt unit, so a single element. It would have the same kind of footprint, but just won't be as intense, and you probably don't really need to have a zone control on there, although you could use one with a 4,000 if you don't have the power for a 6,000, and that would be acceptable as well. I'm not sure if I went through the dimensions. I think I did. Yeah, 14, 7, and yeah, we went through those dimensions there. So there you have it, a couple of ideas for this particular application. If you have any questions and need some assistance in your application, please feel free to give us a call. My name is Steve Walton from Tropic Heating and PatioHeat.com. You have a great day. Thank you.